The mansion's curse, the demonic shadows in the attic return. Once upon a time, there was a beautiful old mansion that stood tall and proud in the heart of the city. It was the talk of the town, with its grandiose architecture and rich history. But there was one thing about the mansion that made the townspeople uneasy: the shadows in the attic. No one knew what was up there, but rumors spread like wildfire. Some said it was haunted by the ghosts of the previous owners, who died mysteriously. Others believed it was a portal to another world, where monsters lurked in the darkness. But no one dared to investigate, for fear of what they might find. One day, a young couple moved into the mansion, eager to make it their own. They were enchanted by the beautiful woodwork and stained glass windows, and couldn't wait to explore every inch of their new home. But as they began to settle in, they noticed something strange. Every night, when they went to bed, they heard strange noises coming from the attic. At first, they thought it was just the house settling, but the sounds grew louder and more menacing with each passing night. They began to feel a sense of unease, as if they were being watched by something sinister. One night, the couple decided to investigate. They climbed the creaky stairs to the attic, armed with flashlights and a sense of bravery. As they reached the top of the stairs, they saw it, the shadows. The shadows were long and twisting, dancing in the dim light of their flashlights. They seemed to move on their own, as if they were alive. The couple felt a chill run down their spines, as they realized that they were not alone. Suddenly, the shadows began to move faster, swirling around the couple in a frenzy. They felt a sharp pain in their chests, as if something was squeezing the life out of them. They tried to run, but the shadows were too fast, too powerful. In the end, the couple was never seen again. Some say they were swallowed up by the shadows, dragged into a world of darkness and despair. Others say they were taken by the monsters that lived in the attic, never to be seen again. No one knows for sure what happened to the couple, but one thing is certain: the shadows in the attic still linger, waiting for their next victim to come along. And so, the mansion remains empty, a dark and foreboding presence in the heart of the city. Years went by, and the mansion with the shadows in the attic became a source of fear and superstition among the people of the town. Many believed that the house was cursed, and that the shadows were the manifestation of the evil spirits that dwelled within its walls. Despite the rumors, a brave soul decided to purchase the mansion and make it their own. This individual was determined to unravel the mystery of the shadows in the attic and put an end to the curse that plagued the house. Upon moving in, they immediately began to search for clues as to the origin of the shadows. They searched high and low, but found nothing. It wasn't until they stumbled upon a dusty old book in the library that they discovered the truth. The book was an ancient tome, filled with spells and incantations that promised to grant great power to those who wielded them. The previous owners of the mansion, it seemed, had dabbled in the dark arts and had summoned a powerful demon to do their bidding. The demon had taken up residence in the attic, and the shadows were the manifestation of its power. It had been feeding on the fear and terror of the occupants of the mansion for years, growing stronger with each passing day. The new owner knew what had to be done. They gathered together the necessary ingredients and began to perform the ritual that would banish the demon back to the underworld from whence it came. As they chanted the ancient words, the shadows began to retreat, slowly fading away into nothingness. The demon let out a blood-curdling scream, and then it was gone. The mansion was free of the curse, and the new owner felt a sense of relief wash over them. They had faced their fears head-on and emerged victorious. From that day forward, The shadows in the attic were nothing more than a distant memory, and the house became a place of warmth and light once again. With the curse lifted, the mansion with the shadows in the attic was finally at peace. The new owner restored the house to its former glory, and it became a place of warmth and joy once again. However, despite the renewed tranquility, the new owner could never shake the feeling that something was still lurking in the shadows. They couldn't explain it, but they had a sense that the demon had not been fully banished, that it was still watching, waiting for its chance to strike. As the years went by, strange things began to happen in the mansion once again. The lights would flicker on and off, strange noises would be heard in the attic, and objects would move on their own. The new owner tried everything to rid the house of the demonic presence once and for all, but nothing seemed to work. They consulted with experts on the paranormal, but even they were stumped. One day, the new owner stumbled upon a clue that would change everything. While sifting through old documents in the library, they found a letter from one of the previous owners of the mansion. The letter spoke of a secret room hidden deep within the attic, a room that had been sealed shut for years. The previous owner had never been able to gain access to it, but they suspected that it was the source of the demonic presence in the house. The new owner immediately set to work, breaking through the old wall that concealed the secret room, and there, in the darkness, they found what they had been looking for, the demon. It was weaker now, having been trapped in the secret room for so long. The new owner knew that they had to act fast before it regained its strength. They gathered together the necessary ingredients once again and performed a ritual to banish the demon once and for all. This time, there was no blood-curdling scream, no swirling shadows. The demon simply dissipated into the air, leaving behind a sense of peace and tranquility. With the demon finally gone, the mansion with the shadows in the attic was truly at peace. The new owner felt a sense of relief and gratitude, knowing that they had saved the house from eternal darkness. And from that day forward, the house was a place of warmth and light, free of the curse that had plagued it for so many years. The new owner had finally put an end to the demonic presence in the mansion, and they were determined to ensure that the curse would never return. They carefully sealed off the secret room and made sure that no one could ever gain access to it again. The house was restored to its former glory, and it became a place of warmth and light once again. The new owner hosted grand parties and events, inviting the townspeople to come and enjoy the splendor of the mansion. But even as the years went by, the memory of the shadows in the attic lingered. People still spoke of the mansion as a place of fear and superstition, and some even claimed that they could still feel the presence of the demon. Despite this, the new owner was determined to keep the house free of its dark past. They hired the best architects and designers to renovate the mansion, creating a bright and modern living space while still preserving its historic charm. And over time, the memory of the shadows in the attic began to fade. The mansion became known as a place of beauty and sophistication, and it was sought after by people from all over the world. But the new owner never forgot the lessons they had learned. They knew that the darkness could always return, and they remained vigilant, always watching for any signs of the curse. And as they looked up at the attic, they could almost imagine the shadows lurking in the darkness, but they knew that they had banished the demon for good, and that the mansion was finally at peace. Years passed, and the mansion with the shadows in the attic became a legendary tale told by the townspeople to their children. The story of how a brave new owner had lifted the curse and banished the demon for good was passed down from generation to generation. The mansion had become a popular tourist destination, with people visiting from all over the world to see its grandeur and beauty. But despite the mansion's newfound fame, the new owner kept a watchful eye over it, knowing that the curse could still return. One stormy night, as the new owner sat in the study, they heard a faint scratching sound coming from the attic. At first, they thought it was just the sound of the wind, but the scratching grew louder and more persistent. As the new owner made their way up to the attic, they felt a sense of dread wash over them. They knew that the curse had returned, and that they had to act quickly to save the mansion from the shadows once again. When they reached the attic, they saw that the sealed-off secret room had been opened, and the demon had returned. Its eyes glowed red in the darkness, and its presence filled the room with an icy chill. The new owner knew that they had to act fast. They quickly gathered the necessary ingredients and began the ritual to banish the demon once again. But this time, the demon was stronger than ever before. It fought back with all its might, determined not to be banished once again. The new owner could feel their strength waning, and they knew that they couldn't keep the demon at bay for much longer. With all the power they had left, they gave one final push, banishing the demon once and for all. As they collapsed to the ground, exhausted but relieved, the new owner knew that they had saved the mansion from eternal darkness once again. They knew that they would have to be even more vigilant in the future, always watching for any signs of the curse. But for now, the mansion was at peace once again, and the shadows in the attic had been banished for good.